Hey there, party people. Welcome back to Chetty Lycan's Horror Party Massacre, where we like our party hats to be sharp and pointy and a little bit bloodstained. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Today we are going to do a ranking of the Wrong Turn films, all 7 of them. That would include the remake, reimagining, rebirthing, regurgitating, whatever you want to call it. There is also a Wrong Turn 7 Spring Break that is listed on IMDb that has no information whatsoever. So obviously we're not going to rank that, but it is interesting to note that there is potentially a 7th one that is going to be in the works. Spring Break? All right. I was originally, just on a side note, I was originally going to do the Jaws films rank, but I like every single one of them. If any single one of them comes on TV, I will sit and watch it in its entirety, and I will thoroughly enjoy it. So that'd be kind of a weird ranking to do. Instead, we're just going to stick with Wrong Turn. I don't see a whole lot of love for the Wrong Turn series anywhere. I mean, come on, tell me when you've seen a Wrong Turn bobblehead or a Wrong Turn figure or even Wrong Turn t-shirts. Wrong Turn doesn't get a lot of love. Inbred cannibals living in the mountains. What's not to love? Let's jump right into that ranking here. Coming in at the top spot of worst to least, Wrong Turn Last Resort. This movie was just freaking horrible. It's a tired concept of, the main character has a family that he just found out about, or he's had this family all die off and leave him their mansion, and he takes his friends to go. Whatever, dude. That's not how a wrong turn should be. Wrong turn should not be that I have family and I'm going to go visit them in the middle of the woods. It should be I'm going someplace and I should have made that left turn at Albuquerque instead of making this wrong turn, and I end up in deep shit. The other thing with Wrong Turn Last Resort that is just horrible, it mixes the cannibal inbreds in with some normal people, a little off their rocker a little bit there, and there's a lot of sex to it. There is a lot of unnecessary, perverted, strap you down in the gynecologist style chair and have sex with you. Yeah, hillbillies, backwoods, inbreds, they don't get that technical. It's just down and dirty sex. It's not this fancy sex party stuff. So, Wrong Turn Last Resort was... Next up on our list, coming in at number 6, that would be... What is that? That would be Bloodlines. Bloodlines, that's the one that's got... Doug Bradley, Pinhead, from the Hellraiser films in it. And he is somehow tied in with the cannibals, calling them his boys throughout the movie. What it is these kids go to this town in the mountains, this little tiny-ass little town that has their own Mountain Man festival that kind of celebrates the legend of the hillbillies, the inbreds. And what's kind of cool about it is that's kind of where we're heading right now today, because I'm seeing a lot of festivals and conventions coming out on cryptids. You've got a Frogman convention. You've got tons of Bigfoot conventions. You got a Hodag convention. You've got a Goatman convention. I mean, these things are popping up all over the place. So this movie was a little ahead of its time by having a convention for the hillbillies, the urban legend as they are thought to be. Well, they're really not, but these kids, they go to this town to partake in this festival, and of course, again, they don't make a wrong turn. They end up where they're supposed to be, so that kind of kills the title of the movie a little bit. However, they go to this town, it's mostly abandoned. They run into this Maynard character who is Doug Bradley, that's somehow associated with the cannibals. And he's in jail. The cannibals are trying to break him out and kill the people that are there. And it ends off with one of our characters getting taken by the hillbillies off as they escape into the night. And of course, she's never revisited, so we don't know whatever happens to her. kind of a letdown. I would not. This one's not very good at all either. So coming in at the number 5 spot, we're going to go with the third movie, Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is a prison transport. You got the bus where they're transporting prisoners to another facility, and shit happens. I think there was supposed to be a breakout, or maybe they just fucked up and the bus flips over. Some of the people on there die. The remaining survivors are forced to trek through the woods to get to civilization because they're basically in the middle of nowhere. They're in hillbilly inbred cannibal country. Mutated, deformed, radioactive, inbred cannibal hillbilly mountain men. In any case, this one here, interesting premise. It's not something that you really see very often. Okay, I keep looking over my other monitor. You don't really see this setup very often. Your main crew is a bunch of bad guys. There are a couple cops there that are with the group, obviously, but your core group are bad guys. They're prisoners. They're convicts. So it's an interesting dynamic seeing the way these folks handle it versus these hardened criminals, these guys have been locked away for their crimes, seeing how they handle things, this situation, as opposed to the normal average Joe who's just trying to go on vacation. But overall, the movie really does flop. It's not very good. It doesn't bring a whole lot to it. Had a couple interesting scenarios, but overall, standard direct-to-video stuff, really. Right smack dab in the middle, in the number 4 spot, is going to be Wrong Turn. The Foundation is what it was originally going to be called. It is actually another reboot, but it has absolutely nothing to do with anything that any of the other films had. There's no inbreds. There's no cannibals. There is no... I don't even think it takes place in the same regional area. This one takes place in Appalachian, along the Appalachian Trail. Is that what I read? Yeah, along the Appalachian Trail. I don't even know if that's the same area. Does Appalachia go through? Is that where they're at in the other ones? Honestly, it's Wrong Turn. I haven't paid that close of attention to them. A lot of people piss on this movie because it does not have the wrong turn things that we are so used to, the cannibals and such, and the massive amounts of blood and gore. It's not a bad flick. It's a group of friends are going on a little vacation. They go hiking in the mountains. They make a wrong turn and come across this group of people called the Foundation that have left society and go out and live in the woods because they don't like the ideals and the way that America is lived today, apparently, and they want to just have their own perfect little society over there. For what it was, I enjoyed it. I would have preferred cannibals, personally, myself. But it was good. That's why I'm putting it right smack dab in the middle. It wasn't horrible, but it really wasn't what I wanted in a Wrong Turn film. Love the ending. The ending was pretty cool. You have to watch and see, but the ending was pretty cool. Let me know what you thought about Wrong Turn, The Foundation, released in 2021. We actually seen it in the theater. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I'm really curious about that because I see a lot of people are torn. Some people liked it. Some people just absolutely hated it. Where do you fall in there? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know down below in the comments. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Wrong Turn 2, Dead End. 3 words why this movie is, why I'm ranking this one so high. Henry fucking Rollins. What? The original is at the number 2 slot? What? Why? What? The one that started this whole mess? Yes. That's coming in only at number 2. You can't discount the original. The original one brought everything to light. It opened the door for this franchise, and it's a really good entry. It is really good. It's just, it sets up the people making a wrong turn in the middle of nowhere and running across the cannibal family. It introduces us to the one of the characters that makes it through most of the movies, Three Finger. He's in 90% of these movies. And it's good, and it's got a good cast. It's got Eliza Dushku in it, if I'm pronouncing that name right. I believe it's got God, what's that one fucking guy's name? Hang on, I need to look at this here. What is his name? I don't remember. Sisko, Jeremy Sisko. We like Jeremy Sisko. He's been in a lot of great flicks. He was in one of our favorites, Dead and Breakfast. Check that one out. But good cast, great effects. I mean, if it's coming from Stan Winston, you know it's going to have good effects. But yeah, the original one brings us everything we're looking for in a wrong turn movie. It sets the rules and the standards for these films. Doesn't give you a lot of explanation, not a lot of narrative on the who's and what, just straight up survival in the woods against inbred cannibals, mutants, deforms, mountain men. That leaves us with Wrong Turn Part 4, Bloody Beginnings, for the #1 spot on this ranking. Bloody Beginnings is the prequel, basically, to all of these films. It shows the childhood of our cannibals. It shows how they spent their earlier days in a insane asylum. It shows how they caused the downfall of the insane asylum and basically create the environment of it being, well, they create the environment of. They're basically the reason why it's abandoned. This film's got several teenagers that are going on a vacation in the snow. They're going out to go snowmobiling. They rented a cabin. They take a wrong turn and can't find their way back to the cabin. So they end up having to spend the night in this abandoned insane asylum in the wintertime. Guess who still lives in this insane asylum? Guess what inmates decided to stick around? Your inbred cannibal mutants, deformed mountain men peoples. And of course, mayhem ensues. They go over and get killed off one by one. The great things about this one is it takes place in the wintertime. And I love movies that take place in the wintertime. The cold desolation of wintertime is very claustrophobic, I think. It's also such a strikingly beautiful landscape. The woods, the winter, the snow all over everything. It just paints a beautiful picture. And all this chaos and violence occurs in it. It opens the door for a lot of different things, such as your ending has a big sequence involving the snowmobiles. There's a scene in there where the characters being chased have to dig their way through the snow. They open a window and have to dig a tunnel through the window and through the snow so that they can get out and escape. It's great, and it's bloody as fuck. There is blood and gore everywhere in this flick, and there's nudity. Nudity is not a strong point for me. It's not a necessity. It's not a requirement. But this movie does have quite a bit of nudity in it. I mean, it starts right off in the first 5 minutes with nudity. So it's got everything that your standard horror fan goes for and loves. Great flick. I really enjoyed it. And that is my personal ranking, my opinion of the Wrong Turn films, from worst to best. What's your ranking look like? What do you guys think of these movies? Did you like them? Do you think they should make more? Do you think that they should never have been made in the first place? Do you think this was a waste of 10, 15 minutes? Down in the comments, let us know. There are some things that I'd really be curious to know what you guys think. So let us know. Until the next party, stay spooky.
I like it spooky.
I want to thank you. Anything you want, you just name it.
Moving right along to number 3, we're going to go with Dead End. What? Dead End? Is that the one with the busload of convicts that flips over and they're trekking through the hillbilly woods? Really? You're putting it this high? Let's take a cut there, because Dead End is not the one with the bus. And I don't know if I talked about part 3, Left for Dead. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But we're gonna hop in, and since I'm editing all this together, I can just go chop it up any way I like.